So I have f of x equals x to the 1/3. To draw the tangent line there, it is straight up and down. Here, f prime of 0 is undefined. F prime of 0 is undefined. And technically, you could say it's infinite. And the reason we don't usually do that is because are you going to say it's positive infinite or negative infinite? If we could say definitively positive infinity or negative infinity, we'd probably do that. We would say f prime of 0 is undefined. So that's something that shows up visually as a vertical tangent line, or can show up visually as a vertical tangent. But that's also going to show up algebraically. So let's think about our f of x equals x to the 1/3. Desmos knows that f prime of 0 is undefined. Let's see how we can know that f prime of 0 is undefined without the graph. So I want f prime of 0. So I get f prime of x is equal to 1/3 x to the 1/3 minus 1. So f prime of x is the same thing as 1/3 x to the negative 2/3. Now, if I want to rewrite this in a way that might make more sense to me, I can bring this negative exponent down and get f prime of x is equal to 1/3. Now, if I look at f prime of 0, I get 1/3 times 0 to the 2/3. Become 1/0, and I can't do that. So when you have something visually that doesn't work, it corresponds to something algebraically that doesn't work, right? It's like two different ways of looking at the same thing. I can't do 1 divided by 0. Y'all know why I can't divide by 0? Okay, let's think about what division means. Let's say I just gave an answer. I said, all right, I'm just going to make up that 1 divided by 0 is equal to 4. What does that mean? I should be able to multiply both sides by 0, right? And cancel this out. And if I did that, I would get that 1 was equal to 4 times 0, which would give me that 1 is equal to 0. So if you tried to say, well, I want to divide by 0 and I want to define it to be equal to something, the logical consequences of that would be complete nonsense. Does that make sense? Because as soon as you try to divide by 0, you have these logical issues. All right, I took a little bit of class time I hadn't planned on to talk about that. People often know that they're not supposed to divide by 0, but they don't know why. And now hopefully that gives you some context. And it might also give you some context for why power functions with negative exponents have to keep 0 out of the domain.